Hi, hello, and how are you? My name is Aspasia, and this is my YouTube channel, Asparagus Reading, and today I'm going to be talking about the Backlist Readathon. If you don't know what this readathon is, it is a readathon that is hosted every March for the last 3 to 4 years, and it's basically a readathon to help you read more books that you already own, that's been on your TBR, such as physical books, ebooks, ARCs, audiobooks, whatever fits within that. If you don't know what backlist means, for me, I like to consider it any book that has been published from the previous year and any time before that. So we are currently 2023, so I would consider books published in 2022 and any time before that as backlist. So I'm going to be co-hosting this readathon with 3 other people. First, we have Jacqueline from Jacqueline and also All About the Wheelers. We also have Kat from Kat Chats and Spencer from Intentionally Bookish. This readathon is going to be hosted from March 12th, which is a Sunday, to March 18th, which is a Saturday. There is no set time zone, so really you could just start anytime, but most likely within your time zone. There are a couple of prompts. There are 5 regular prompts and 1 bonus prompt for a total of 6. And so I'm going to go into those prompts now and give you a little bit of my TBR. So the first prompt is read a backlist title or a book that you've been thinking about unhauling. And for me, I'm going to be reading The Perfect Mother by Amy Molloy. I don't know anyone that has read this author or this book. I've checked Goodreads, I've checked Storygraph, and nothing has come up. No one familiar to me has popped up, none of my friends or anyone I follow is on there. So a part of me is a little nervous that I may not like this. Now, if I do remember correctly, there was a lot of reviews on Goodreads, so it's a pretty popular book. It's just no one that I know has read it. This is a mystery thriller following a group of women called the May Mothers. They have all recently given birth in May, and basically 2 to 3 times a week they like to go out for drinks, go out to eat, go to gossip, whatever the case may be, they do that evening. And on one of those evenings, one of the mother's children go missing. And so throughout this thriller, I'm assuming you're following the mother and maybe some other people as they're trying to find the child, who took the child and why. Trying to figure out other people's roles, because they're going to be suspicious of everyone. For example, the babysitter. What were you doing? The child is missing. Probably marriages are going to be tested. Probably going to be some secrets revealed. They may or may not trust these friends that they have been friends with for however long. And so I'm very interested in reading it, but scared because no one I know has read it. So the second prompt is read a book or a backlist title from an author that you've read before. So for this one, I think I'm going to be reading A Show for Two by Tashi Buyan. This is a YA contemporary romance that is her second novel that came out last year. So there's a competition going on at Mina's school, and she really wants to win so she can get a ticket to go to like a really big fancy like acting film university. And while she's in the process of trying to film a short film for that competition, she discovers that one of the students at her school is actually an actor who is currently undercover to get like research for his next role. And so she decides to make a deal with him, basically saying like, if you help me with my short film, I will help you with your competition. Because I do believe he's trying to participate in some sort of competition relating to his photography. I'm not sure if it's the same competition she's doing or 2 separate. And so the 2 of them, shake on it, make this deal where they help each other with their skill sets to further their likelihood of winning the competition. And so I'm assuming with this forced proximity of working together and gradually getting to know each other, there's going to be a friendship and eventually romance build up, but also there's going to be like tension and risk just because he's a famous celebrity. I don't believe everyone at the school knows. That's going to be like a very big thing to kind of like hide his identity. So prompt number 3 is to read a book from your favorite genre. So I tend to read very widely now. I think I used to be very mainly fantasy, but now I'm like fantasy, romance, thrillers, memoirs, all of the above. And so for this one, I could read really anything if I wanted to, but I think I want to do something a little light, a little fun, and maybe continue with the romance trend from A Show for Two. I think I'm going to do For Better or Worse by Erin LaRosa. This is going to be following Nina and Leo. Nina is going to be co-hosting the cooking competition, and Leo is going to be the celebrity chef that is going to be participating in. It seems like as soon as the cameras start rolling, everything seems to be going wrong because no matter what he does, he seems to be pissing off Nina more and more. And she just increasingly doesn't like him up until the point one day when they're filming live TV, she quits. Now, I'm not sure if it's in that moment or a different moment. They end up in a very suspicious position, a little very suspicious moment where it's captured and it goes viral over the internet, where, you know, people start to question whether or not there's a little bit of a romance brewing behind the scenes. Now, you know, reality TV, drama tends to do ratings very, very well. They decided to take advantage of the situation and to kind of push that narrative to continue getting the ratings and the views that they've been getting. And so Nina and Leo reluctantly decide to work together to continue with this narrative, to continue with this plot line, to not only like help their careers because they're getting famous and getting paid, but also to help the show. Prompt number 4 is to pick a book using a random number generator. So I did actually do this earlier today, like I filmed the video, but it was a hot mess of a video, so I'm redoing it. And so I'm going to put in the clip of what I chose here. Okay, I could not get the screen recording feature to work on my laptop, so what we're gonna have to do is this. Hopefully y'all can hopefully y'all could see that. So I did it from 1 to 29 just because I have 31 books on NetGalley, but I'm currently reading 3, so I did it to wait. 30. Did I count right? 30, 31. No, I didn't. Okay, 28. All right, so now we're gonna do this. Let's generate. Okay, I got a number 8. I think y'all could see that. So let's go to NetGalley. And my number 8 book, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, is, if it loads for us, An Improbable Season by Rosalind Eves. To be quite honest, I have not read the description of this before, at least not to the full extent. I think I saw like a 2-sentence summary and I was like, request. So I'm just going to read out the description for you. When Talia, Calliope, and Karis set off to Regency London for their first season, they each have clear goals, few of which include matrimony. Talia means to make her mark among the intelligentsia and publish her poetry. Karis hopes to earn her place among the scientific elite, and Calliope aims to take the fashionable ton by storm. Okay, the wording of this is a little confusing to me, but like, okay. Go off, queens, love to see it. Very educational. They're here for hard work and their passions, and they're not here for husbands. So let's continue. But this season, it does not take long for things to fall apart. Calliope finds herself embroiled in a scandal and reliant upon an arranged marriage to redeem her reputation. Talia's dreams of publication are threatened by an attraction to a charming rake, and Karis finds herself an unexpected social hit, and the source of the family scandal that her heart might not survive. Can this rollercoaster season find its happily after? An Improbable Season is a voicey, swoony Regency drama about falling in love with another person, with new activities, and with yourself. Okay, so this is definitely giving me like historical romance, contemporary vibes. I'm assuming it's going to be in 3 perspectives of the 3 girls because they all had different things going on. And I want to say it's possibly queer because of the connections between some of the plots going on with them. I'm very curious to see how this goes, especially since it is historical. Certain things, you know, like being a scientific elite and publishing poetry and whatnot is not necessarily what they want a woman to do at the time. So I'm curious to see how this goes. Also, I do believe it is YA, so it's probably going to be like very cheesy, very fun, very like cute. I don't know where I was going with that. All I know is that it sounds good. And I definitely think they have a journey ahead of them. And for prompt number 5, that is read a book based off a co-host prompt. So the 4 of us do have a different prompt, and if you're interested in seeing the other co-host prompts, I highly suggest checking out the videos where they explain it a bit further. For my prompt, I'm going to be doing reading a book that was meant to be read in 2022, but you didn't. So for whatever reason, say you put Princess Diaries on your TBR last year, but maybe you got busy, you got sick, or you decided not to read it. Well, now you have a chance to do so. So whatever book that you wanted to read in 2022 but didn't get to, you could use for this. And I think one of the ones that I'm gonna try to do is either Gilded by Marissa Meyer. This is a Rumpelstiltskin retelling, or just because it's she-thick, I might start reading Good Kings, Bad Kings by Susan Nussbaum. I was supposed to read this last year for... honestly, I don't remember what it was for. I was supposed to read this last year for something, and I never did. Now I have another chance because one of my classes that I'm taking right now is going to be starting this midway through the readathon. Now, I probably won't be finishing it, but I would like to at least start it and get a good, decent way through for that class. I believe this is about an institution for teenagers, juveniles with disabilities, and really following these juveniles in this isolating and possibly not great environments for these teenagers with disabilities. So between these two, I'm probably going to read some of both and maybe like a try a chapter thing. But I'm leaning more this one just because it's for school and this one is long, but we'll see. And for a sixth prompt, which is a bonus prompt, and that is to read a book or any title that is from a book subscription. Whatever subscription you have, read one of those books that you maybe haven't read yet. For me, I am not currently subscribed to anyone. Most of the books that I own were from my previous book of the month subscription. I've already read them, and I do own a few from like Fairy Loot Fake Rate, which I've already read. The only ones I haven't read is, again, Gilded and Cursed. I have the, I don't know if you can see it, the Fairy Loot editions of both of them, and I mean, the one thing I'm concerned about is that this is a week-long readathon, and I am in class and working and doing other things, so this is a lot of reading for 1 week. So I'm thinking of maybe, if I do read this, I could double up this for this prompt and the previous prompt, and maybe get the audiobook and kind of read them between the two. But this is really the only book that I have available that is from a book subscription. Other than that, I might have to be flexible and stretch this prompt a little bit, and maybe pick a book that I know has been chosen for a book box, and maybe that I haven't gotten it from. So for example, there are quite a few books that are from Book of the Month that I'm interested in, but I didn't purchase it from them. For example, Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is I think a contemporary book that is following this woman who's been divorcing or in the process of divorcing her husband, and just the really emotional trials and tribulations that come with that, like watching your partner fall in love with someone else, trying to figure out co-parenting and finances and whatnot. That's something I'm really interested in reading, but I don't own it, but I know it's from a book box, so like if I don't read this, I could always like stretch the prompt and read that. So these are the books that I'm possibly maybe reading. As I've already mentioned earlier, some of these are possibilities, including the Neck Alley E-Arc. I think if I were to really actually finish anything, it'd probably be the top 3 and the E-Arc. These two I wouldn't be mad at not reading, but also I feel like a lot of these could fit multiple prompts if I decided to double up. Now there will be some graphics to this that you could post to like your Instagram stories or Facebook or Twitter or your Instagram feed. So if you would like to see some of those, I've probably already showed them throughout the video, but if you would like to have your own copy, I will be posting them to my Instagram, link down below, of course. I'll put them in a highlights reel story thing, and I'll probably post them on my feed. And if you haven't been able to find it or having any issues, you can always just DM me and I'll send them to you. So I think that is everything. If you have made it this far, drop a blue emoji, just because, I don't know, like every time I think of Jackie and this readathon, I think of blue. I just feel like that is just the vibe that she gives, is just blue. Not like sadness, just the really pretty, calming, soothing aspects of blue. So drop anything blue down below. And let me know if you're going to be participating in this readathon. What are some of the prompts that you're excited for? Are any books that you're maybe considering reading? And with that being said, have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you are, and I'll see you in the next one.